Airports are supposed to be secure, controlled environments, places where no one can simply vanish. But in July 2014, Lars Mittank, a 28-year-old German tourist, did just that at Varna Airport in Bulgaria. He walked in, then moments later sprinted out, never to be seen again. His disappearance, captured on security cameras, has become one of the internet's most haunting mysteries. Lars was an ordinary guy. Steady job, loving family, no history of crime or mental illness. He was just like any of us, which makes his story so unsettling. On July 8th, the airport was packed with tourists heading home. Amid the crowd, Lars became a puzzle. He ran out of the terminal, scaled a barbed wire fence, and vanished into a sunflower field. He left behind his wallet, phone, and luggage. In a world of constant surveillance, he simply disappeared. The question isn't just what happened to Lars, but how it could happen at all. How can someone in a public place in the 21st century just cease to exist? His case is now the most famous missing person mystery on YouTube. The search for answers takes us back to the beginning of his trip, a holiday that started with laughter and ended in terror. This isn't a story from a distant past, it's a modern ghost story. Lars's vanishing challenges everything we believe about safety and visibility in our connected world. What tore the fabric of his normal life apart? To understand, we have to start at the beginning. Before he became a mystery, Lars Mittank was just a regular guy from Marne, Germany. Friends and family describe him as friendly, easygoing, and passionate about football. He worked at a power plant, had a steady girlfriend, and was close to his mother. There was nothing unusual about his life. In late June 2014, Lars and his friends flew to Golden Sands, Bulgaria, for a classic lads holiday. The plan: sun, sea, and cheap beer. For the first few days, everything was perfect. Photos show Lars smiling, relaxed, and happy. Golden Sands is known for its party scene, and Lars was enjoying every moment. He stayed in touch with his girlfriend, telling her he was having a great time. He was an experienced traveler, grounded and sensible. There was no sign of trouble, just a normal holiday. The group watched World Cup matches, soaked up the sun, and enjoyed the freedom of being away from home. No one could have predicted the strange events that would soon unfold. Lars was stable, happy, and looking forward to going home. The normality of his life makes what happened next even harder to comprehend. Everything changed on the night of July 6th. Lars and his friends got into a football argument with another group of German tourists at a fast food restaurant. The dispute escalated, and later that night, Lars was involved in a fight outside. He claimed he was attacked by 4 men hired by the rival fans. The altercation left him with a ruptured eardrum, a painful but not life-threatening injury. The next morning, Lars was in no condition to fly. He saw a local doctor who advised him not to travel and prescribed antibiotics. Lars insisted his friends go home without him. He'd recover and catch a later flight. It seemed like a practical decision, but once his friends left, something changed. Alone and injured, Lars's behavior began to shift. The man left behind was not the same as before. This was the turning point. His holiday had taken a dark turn. The shadows of paranoia were closing in. After his friends left, Lars checked into a budget hotel near the beach. Instead of resting, he became increasingly paranoid. CCTV showed him pacing, peering out windows and hiding in the elevator. He made frantic calls to his mother, whispering that he was being watched and asking her to cancel his credit cards. He questioned the safety of his antibiotics and believed the men from the fight were after him. His mother tried to reassure him, booking him a bus and flight home. But Lars's fear only grew. In a chilling call, he told his mother, "I'm hiding, they are after me," before the line went dead. That was the last time she heard his voice. Early the next morning, Lars fled the hotel, leaving his belongings behind except for his phone. He took a taxi to Varna Airport, hours before his flight. He was running from something, real or imagined, no one knows. The taxi sped through the night, carrying a terrified man toward his final known destination. Lars arrived at Varna Airport before dawn, still gripped by fear. He called his mother, saying he was waiting for the airport doctor to check his ear. For a moment it seemed he might make it home, but his paranoia hadn't faded. It was just beneath the surface. CCTV showed him pacing, talking to himself, unable to sit still. When the doctor's office opened, Lars went in for an exam. The doctor described him as nervous and erratic, worried about his medication and flying. The doctor reassured him he was fit to travel. But then a construction worker entered the office. For Lars, this was the final trigger. His eyes widened in terror. He muttered, "I don't want to die here, I have to get out." Suddenly he bolted from the room, leaving everything behind: wallet, passport, phone, and luggage. He ran through the terminal, propelled by pure panic. In seconds, he was out of the doctor's office and sprinting for the exit. He left behind not just his belongings, but his entire life. The airport, with all its cameras and security, could only watch as he vanished. Lars was now truly alone. Lars's escape was captured on CCTV, footage that would become infamous. He sprinted through the terminal, dodging travelers, his face a mask of fear. He ran straight for the exit, burst into the sunlight, and didn't stop. He crossed the forecourt, scaled a 2.5-meter barbed wire fence, and disappeared into a field of towering sunflowers. For a moment his head was visible above the plants, then he was gone. The entire sequence lasted less than a minute. Search teams scoured the area, police, dogs, drones, but found nothing. No footprints, no clothing, no clues. It was as if he'd vanished into thin air. This was the last confirmed sighting of Lars Mittank. In a world of constant surveillance, he simply ran out of frame. The mystery deepened. How could someone disappear so completely? The search for Lars had only just begun. Years later, Lars Mittank's disappearance remains unsolved, fueling endless theories. The most accepted theory: Lars suffered a sudden psychotic break, triggered by his head injury, stress, and possibly a reaction to antibiotics. In this state, he may have fled into the wilderness and succumbed to the elements, his body hidden in the dense terrain. Another theory: Lars was genuinely in danger, pursued by men from the earlier fight, and ran for his life. Some speculate he witnessed a crime or was targeted by criminal elements in Varna. Others wonder if he chose to disappear, but this seems unlikely given his close family ties and abandoned belongings. For his mother, Sandra, the search never ends. She runs a Facebook page, hires investigators, and follows every lead. The truth remains buried in that Bulgarian field. Lars's case is a chilling reminder of how fragile our reality can be. How can someone in full view of cameras and crowds simply vanish? We may never know the answer, but the search for Lars and for answers continues.